Hi, my beautiful divine masculines. I am here today to share some channeled messages with you from Source. They kept me pretty busy last night, and a lot of messages were coming through not only for the collective, but the divine feminine and divine masculine. And I feel it's really important to share these messages. If you do not know, I am Jessica with Whispers of Grace Healing. If you are new to my channel, I welcome you, and if you have been here before, you know I love you and appreciate you all. So if you enjoy these messages, make sure to give it a thumbs up and share with your friends. Drop me a comment. I'm not really sure how many divine masculines actually watch my channel. I hope there are some, and hopefully this video will actually find its way to you, because I feel like it's really important not only that the feminines know what's going on, but that the divine masculines get the confirmation that they need while they're going through these transitions, because there's a lot going on for everyone involved. So I have pulled some cards in order to kind of go along with the messages that I've been receiving. But last week I was feeling really disconnected, and normally Spirit talks to me a lot through music, and I just wasn't getting the messages like normal. So last night I decided to go deep within, and they started talking like hardcore. So if you haven't watched the collective message, please do. And if you are interested in seeing what's going on the divine feminine side, please go watch that video too, because all of these are so important. They deserve their own video. They deserve their own individual messages, and I hope they find you with good energy and well wishes. So the song that they presented to me for the divine sacred masculine was "I'm Coming Home" by, who is this by? So it's actually by P. Diddy, but one of the other girls that sings along with it is Skylar Gray, and it's a very powerful song. There's a lot that goes into it, and I will be posting that down in the description box, so please go take a listen to it after you listen to this video. But you know, I feel like the divine masculine is finally coming to this point where they are realizing that the way that they have been approaching not only their connection to source energy, but to their divine feminine, has been severely distorted, and they're having to go deep within and realize where all of this distortion actually stems from. They also have to forgive themselves and realize that they have already been forgiven, which is a message in the collective message as well. I feel like they have to realize just how much this distorted energy has been keeping them conflicted and away from their divine truth. Now, I also feel like it's important to say that spiritual warfare is very real, y'all. A lot of people do not like to talk about it, but with the messages that I have been getting, I feel like it's really important to reiterate this in case they do not, like anyone who comes across this video does not watch the collective message. But with the Two of Swords here, this is actually representing the battle that's going on between the dark side and the light side. This is the battle that God is fighting for you. You are not aware of this, and you have no idea how much these distorted thoughts, belief patterns, coping mechanisms, and the way that you look at yourself, and the the way that you feel you are undeserving or unworthy of such a divine love, right? That's that distorted energy. And the divine is fighting every inch of the way to keep your soul pure, to lead you back to the truth, to remind your heart that it is still very much lovable and it is still very much pure. But due to the conditionings of this world and the way that you were taught to behave, taught you a distorted image of masculinity. It also taught you to hide your emotions, to stuff down, to be strong, to put on this facade and even be something that you never really wanted to be, but you felt you had to. And all of these things are keeping you guarded. They're keeping you blocked. And the divine wants you to remove this armor, to remove these blockages, and see how vulnerability can actually be a good thing. Because your divine feminine and the divine energies that are surrounding you at present already see you. They already love you, armor and all. And we constantly pray for y'all. We constantly hope for your well-being, and no matter what that means for our connection, we've always wanted what's best for you. We've always wanted you to see what we see, even if you couldn't see it for yourself. With the Ten of Pentacles being here as well, this is what that distorted energy has been affecting. Your home life, your finances, the way that you look at your relationships and believing that happily ever after is real. And it keeps you from moving away from things and starting new beginnings until Spirit has to come in and rock your world to make it so uncomfortable. And this is what's happening. I feel like a lot of that uncomfortable feeling, because the message I've been getting from the source energy all day long is we've never wanted you to suffer. We've never wanted you to feel lack or limitation. We've never wanted you to feel like you were alone in all of this. That is that dark energy, and they're testing your faith. They're testing your faith in God. And it's up to you to come back home. Another message within this song is, going back to the root of the issue of where you learned all this distorted behavior, where it came to this point of feeling like you were never good enough, or that you weren't heard or understood, or that you couldn't be compassionate and accepted at the same time. Also, it distorted the image of how you really looked at love within your relationships. One of the messages in the song is, and I feel like this, another really important part I want to say real quick is, the divine has already forgiven you, so please forgive yourself and understand that we know that it's not really who you are at a core level, and we love you and root for you either way, okay? But a lot of what the divine masculine is going through is realizing that this love that they have for their divine feminine is so strong and so out of this world that even though they've been trying to treat it as a friendship, it's not right. It's not right. And they know that you would take a bullet, that the divine feminine would have never let their foundation crumble if they would have known that this was happening. that the divine feminine would have done anything in their power to protect this connection. And I feel like the divine masculine is finally starting to feel and understand the divine feminine's love, and the way that the divine feminine tends to push, because the divine feminine tends to believe so much and so hard that we end up pushing the divine masculine away in hopes that we will push them out of their comfort zone, to get out of their own way. And the divine masculine is coming to this point of realizing that their queen has already been presented to them. Their empress has already been presented. And it's time to build that solid foundation again. That you can't make a house into a home and not have your loved ones around you. And when your loved ones are gone, are you going to be okay with the things that you didn't take a chance on, right? Like, that's really what's coming up for the divine masculine is, can you honestly say that you gave it a chance? Can you honestly say that you put in that effort? And can you say that you can leave this world and not regret it? That you didn't accept your rightful place and explore this connection more, or just be honest that you were feeling vulnerable, or that you were scared of what this kind of love even meant, or if it was even real. And now that you're coming to this point of realizing, oh, it is. It very much is. It's leading you back to your connection with self. It's leading you back to that connection with source, and realizing that everything that you once thought was true was simply an illusion, and you're rebuilding your foundation and coming back to this kingdom where all your sins have been forgiven, because God is not spiteful. God loves you in every inch of your being, because you were created in His image. And it's time for us to stop fearing that divine love that's within us and allowing ourselves to explore that more. So, where is the divine masculine's energy at present? The Temperance, the Death card. Yeah, listen, guys. Okay, so the divine masculine energy is coming to this place of understanding that they've taken a long time in this healing process, and coming to that realization that that period of their distorted image, right? The things that are no longer serving them and this union and this solid foundation. The sun, the source energy is continuing to rise, where everything looks so dark and bleak and unsure and chaotic and confusing. There's an illumination. There's a sense of truth coming out. And they're realizing that because of these past belief systems and the way that they were holding on to these conditionings, they were missing out. And that's where I feel like some of that possible regret keeps coming in, is because they know that, again, their queen, their empress has already been presented to them. Their life partner has already been presented. And it's time for them to go through this transition of being reborn and allowing the new day to dawn, for that new chapter to begin, and allow the abundance and the love of divine energy to take its place. What's the lesson in all of this? realizing your potential, using that determination and your strong will to create the foundation and the empire that you want, Divine Masculine. Not just on monetary needs. Like in the song, he says, you know, all these people look up to me, and why is it so hard for me to be Diddy when all I want to be is Sean? And it's who he was before all of this happened that created this image that he felt he needed to be accepted, right? How are his kids looking at him and saying, I want to be you when I grow up, but yet I'm not done growing? How can I be the inspiration when I don't have all the answers? This is the point the Divine Masculine is coming at. Am I living in the image that I truly want to be presenting? Or is this what I feel is my only option, and now I'm realizing that it's not? The lesson here is to realize that with your determination, you are already successful, that you already have everything you need to move forward, to be recognized, because you've already been recognized by your queen, by your empress, by your divine feminine, okay? They have been waiting for you to come home, Divine Masculine. They have been waiting for you to recognize your potential, your power, and your creativeness that creates the abundance in your own life. That's why they had to take a step back, so that they could do that for themselves. And now both of you are coming to this realization that it was already in the play the whole time. It was already in the books. It was already written. And that you both needed to rely on your own power into releasing codependency, releasing the addictions, releasing the patterns of your family's history and past, and the way that you've decided to protect yourself, especially when it comes to your heart space. But your heart was already pure to begin with. It wasn't till you were hurt or traumatized that caused you to pull back, to hide, to diminish, to question, right? But your empress saw past that the entire time. They knew your worth. They knew what this connection meant. They're just waiting for you to recognize it too. So why are you being taught all of this? With the Page of Cups, this is getting outside of your comfort zone, okay? With the Page of Cups, this is offering and hearing the messages that come from the heart. And it might leave you feeling confused. You might have always questioned, how could someone really love me like that? Even if I don't really know this person, there's this sense of familiarity. And it's because you have history. This is the other half of you. This is the soul that literally comes to this point to help you realize the responsibility you have on this planet. They are here to help you carry it. Because you have a mission, you have a purpose, Divine Masculine. Whether you realize that or not. And it is time for you to make the decision. Are you ready to take on the path you were meant to follow? Are you ready to come home to what has always been familiar since the very beginning? The moment you laid eyes on each other, you knew You knew you had to approach, you knew you had to converse, you knew you had to be a part of it somehow, but then you got scared, and that's okay. You all do, we all do. But now this is breaking outside of that comfort zone and making you realize that this connection has been and will be divinely orchestrated for the long run. There is no getting away from this connection, and until you two can link up, whether it is this life or next, but this is understanding the power that both of you hold when it comes to the work that needs to be done on this planet. God's work, the light work, the raising hope and inspiration for all of mankind, to bring the true sense of God's word back to this planet. Not the distorted image that creates fear and being damned and all that makes you feel like you can't even be your true self, because you were always taught to hide that. You got to be quiet. Don't be too much. Don't say, don't act, don't be. And yet, the same thing as the divine feminine, we have been taught to shrink. We have been taught to hide. And now it's time for us to break outside of this and accept what was divinely led to us in the first place. What is the outcome of all of this? Some of you need to realize that the divine is trying to protect you from the distorted image of self, from the way that these darker forces have been trying to control and manipulate you your entire life. When you feel attacked, when you feel victimized, that is not God. When you feel you have been diminished, unheard, unseen, that is not God. That is not God's way. You are not meant to be controlled. You are not meant to be manipulated. You are meant to be free. You are meant to tend to your own garden. You are meant to work on yourself and evolve in God's light. And it takes work. Because we're talking lifetimes of being on this dense planet where there is ego, pain, fucking control, greed. Greed is a major thing. And you have to learn to carry your own weight. But it's up to you to decide if you are going to fight back against these uneasy voices that you hear and you tell yourself, the storyline that you have accepted as your truth, that no one could ever really love you like that. Could I really be worthy of that kind of love where all that I have done and all that I am ashamed of can truly be forgiven? It already has. And that's why you need to forgive yourself, because you're the only one holding that baggage above your head. And I feel like there are energies just waiting to deplete you, but it is up to you to look it in the face and say, you have no power here. You might always question where you are or how far you've come or if you're in the right place, but I promise you, if you keep working on it, if you keep seeing that each moment has potential for growth, for harmony, for evolution, you will see the fruits of your labor. But it depends on what you choose to put your energy into. If you choose to give in to hate, greed, manipulation, and control, you're not going to be satisfied with the outcome, and you will always feel lack. But God is telling you to look within yourself and feel that divinity that you were created with, and understand that you have what it takes. You hold the power in your hands, and we're all rooting for you. So what do they want to remind you? Again, be patient with the healing process. It's okay. We've all been hurt. We've all been through this point of reflection, and we need to understand that sometimes we need to take that time for ourselves to understand where our pain stems from. Where does it hurt? Why does it hurt? And understand that your divine feminine has been praying for you and supporting your process this entire time. They have never given up on you. They will never forget you. But this is your time. This is your time for reflection, and this is up to you to stop distracting yourself, whether it be with work, drugs, alcohol, sex, looking for validation in all the wrong places, and come home to self. She is offering you a gift of purity because she already believes. The divine feminine already believes in the power that you hold, and they just want you to have that confidence within yourself to realize you have what it takes. Stand up for yourself. Don't be afraid to take the bull by the horns and go in the direction that your soul chooses. But first, do what truly brings your soul joy. And can you really say with the way that you have been currently or living your life in the past, was it truly soul fulfilling? Was that really what your soul desired, or was that a product of your environment in which you were grown up to believe? Is that a product of your trauma and your heartache? Or is that the part of your divinity? Are you doing things for selfish reasons or selfless reasons? And understand your part in the story. Understand it is up to you to take your throne. And you have what it takes. You always have. And the presence of the divine feminine will always be with you, okay? Always lighting the way for you to come back to the center of self. So, Source is bringing forth the diamond-hearted Dakini. So let's see what she has to say to you. Okay. From Ashik's perspective as an enlightened female, she knew that the difference between a god and a demon had to do with our reaction to them. Those who cause us pain, she explained, also teaches us patience, whereas those who bring gifts can distract us from our spiritual paths. No one and no single situation has the power to derail us. That is useless. We let it. The power rests within us. The spiritual path for Michi was to become intimate with her inner demons, those thoughts or beliefs that kept her from experiencing joy, bliss, and pure love. The darkness within us isn't actually dark. It often feels threatening because some aspect of our intuition knows that when we face it, we will reclaim a lost part of our soul. We will heal. We will become more whole, and that ironically can be terrifying. We get so used to functioning with only one wing. We wonder, how can I fly now with two? I'll go too far, too high. Who will I become now that I am free? And who will I lose in the evolution of my soul? Michi is here to support us in seeing what's ready to come to consciousness. She's here with her diamond heart to hold us as we feed one of our demons, not with fear, but with the knowledge that bringing it to life and into the light will help set us free. Wow, guys. So that is what I have for the Divine Masculine, and I hope that this brings some clarity to your situation, and I hope you feel the sincerity in these messages. If you need any help or need clarification in any of these areas, please reach out to me at whispersofgrace1016@gmail.com. I wish you the very best of luck, and please let me know what you think of these messages, and I will talk to all of you soon. Good luck.